I got the engine out of the cradle. Want to do some changes to the cradle so it can handle the transmission. My plan is to start putting the transmission in and out of the car so I can get the tunnel clearance for the shift rods figured out and everything. And I don't want to be taking the tranny on and off the block a bunch of times. So I modified the cradle that I bought. This is this piece of crap thing I bought from Summit for like 50 bucks. And I put a new bar on the rear and this tail bar. And then another one inside it so I can adjust it. And my plan is to weld some casters on it. I was just at Harbor Freight tonight on my way home from work and picked up a bunch of these crappy things, and so I'm going to put them on and then I can adjust this for transmissions. Oh, other things is the bell housing. I got it for a score. It's a Lakewood one. It's really cool. Stoked about that. Steering column's finished. It's all done. Everything's in. It's ready to go back in the car. And I'm working on the pedal stuff now. They're all painted. Strip got to paint the bottom half. And I got a bunch of crap pedals, rubbers, bushings, all that sort of boring stuff as well. So I'm going to get to work on this thing. And alright, here it is. Trying to get the transmission mounted to the engine, but the block plate is too tight over the crank. It fits, like it fits over the dowels, but it only fits just. This, obviously this is a forged scat crank, so I figure when they cut these, they probably cut them for stock diameter crank counterweight, so that's probably the issue. And it's not much, like it fits over, but there's no way I'm going to let that spin. So I'm going to have to clearance the center of this block plate before I go any further with this. Okay, so I took a bunch of measurements and to get clearance for this, and I figure I can just flog this thing out with a Dremel if I really wanted to, but I got a buddy, he's got a CNC machine, so in his garage I thought it'd be pretty fun to give it a try. I spoke to him, he said he'd be willing to help out, so hopefully tomorrow I can run over there and after work, because I'm working this weekend again, maybe just give me a 1/4 inch all the way around. I mean, it doesn't need to be much. The reason I've been doing all this so I can get the bell housing on to measure the run out to make sure that's in spec, because I got my flywheel and I don't want to just put the bell housing on with the flywheel and do the run out without the block plate between the block and the bell housing, if that's how I'm finally going to run it. I also got some, picked up some shocks for the front. I've been waiting on these. Not that I need them right now, but things that I know I'm going to need sooner, I just keep an eye on, and I was able to pick up a good deal. These were like 20 bucks off each, so that was good. Other stuff, I got a bunch of mess here, pedals and stuff. Interesting thing happened. This is the pedal hanger for the 71. I picked up this off a friend. He said it came out of a Chevelle and it had both pedals in it. Long story short, this car, as I've said, was a 3-speed column, and what had happened is when they converted it to the Chevy and the small block Chevy and the Turbo 350 Auto with a floor shift, they just ditched the clutch pedal. So this is my brake pedal, and then the clutch pedal was just gone somewhere. They just pulled it off and threw it, and it had this bolt that ran through with these bushings on it, and I thought that this was something that they'd put together and just cobbled together and made these little races and did the deal with it. And so my buddy had this that was from a first gen Chevelle, like I think it was specifically off a 66, but whatever, you know, between what, 67 and 64 or whatever it was. So I thought, yeah, I'll just be able to take the clutch pedal from this pedal hanger and put it on mine. But it turns out the Chevys had this shaft that went through, and the Pontiacs actually had a bolt. So this is legit. This is the real pedal hanger bolt, and the bushings, these races are right, and they slide inside this. But I didn't realize that that was a Pontiac specific thing, which is one of those weird things you would think they would just make it all to fit one across all platforms. So Now because of this, I would have to drill this out, which is fine, but it's actually how far back this stands off, and so because these earlier ones had this this little spot welded bushing on to pad the clutch pedal further out, and this one doesn't. And I thought about it, I was like, maybe I could cut this off and, you know, put it on there, and then, but at the end of the day, if I just get the right clutch pedal, everything else will fit back together. And then the car itself, got the panel and primer, everything looks good. The panel's actually screwed on pretty much in its final resting place. The bumper is on. Would you believe I can get the bumper to fit better on the repro panel side than I can on the factory side? But I've just got to massage the brackets a little. It's just, it fits really good, it's just lower. I can't get out because of the door, but here there's, you know, a reasonable gap, where over here it's a little tighter, which is perfect really. So I'm stoked with that right now, and I have no doubt I'll be able to get the other side to match up to that as far as height and square. See if I can get this hole flogged out tomorrow, and then get the flywheel on and do the run out and see how it goes from there. Cheers. Alright, it's Saturday, just before noon. Got up super early to come into work, so I'd still have some time in the day to do some stuff in the shop. Pretty stoked. This is the first time I'll have a whole day and a half to get back in the garage for what feels like months, so it's gonna be really nice. But super nice weather in San Fran today. Getting out of the city, it's usually traffic's a little heavy, it's usually not too bad, but man, this bridge is pretty awesome though. But the weather's so good right now, I thought I'd just take a quick bit of video. Good news is that I've got my brought the plate with me, and my mate Jesse said that last night I gave him the measurements, and he drew up it in his CADs for his CNC machine, so I'm gonna head straight to his place right now, throw it on the machine, and then hopefully open up that block plate hole for a little bit, and then get stuck into the shop and make some good progress on the car this weekend. Video it.
Gonna record a mill crash right here. You'll do 2 passes though.
Right.
I probably could have done it 1 shot, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you don't know how it's gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna go hella slow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. Steps of 1/8, so yeah, that is accurate then, yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Alright. Back from my buddy's house. And it fits, hopefully. Look who it is.
Stop.
It's the new shop hand. What are you carrying?
Bolts.
Oh, flywheel bolts.
And valve technology.
And valve technology. Everything we need. And the rat. Blondie. Alright, shop hand. Let's see your skills. Look at that. Perfect. Total win, huh? So the flywheel's on. We've got the ARP bolts in. Everything's torqued down. In the process, managed to smash the shit out of my finger. The inside diameter of the flywheel was really tight against the crank, and I had to clearance it a little bit just with a little Scotch-Brite pad. I was able to get it on, but during that the thing fell off the crank and landed right on my finger on the ring gear. So I'm going to put the bell housing back on and try and see if I can do the run out and see how close or what I got to do with the dowel pins or not. We'll see what happens from there. I also got the lower valance panel on for the exhaust with the exhaust cutouts. This one's for a GTO. My Le Mans one didn't have the exhaust cutouts, so I got this one for a bargain off eBay, so I thought I'd try it out. Still got to put the screws in either side. It's only bolted in from the middle. The left-hand side on the factory has this little bracket in here welded that holds this up, and the repro panel didn't have it, but luckily my old panel did, so I just drilled the spot welds out and just stripped it now. So it's gonna mount up inside there, and I'll put some plug welds in and hold it up there, and that'll hold this nice and tight up against here, and it should look good. I figured there's no point putting it on now because I don't know where this wants to be, and then I'll just weld the bracket on to match, as opposed to welding the bracket on and then bending the panel, because the panel does look pretty good and looks straight. And overall, the back of the car is looking really good. I'm really stoked with it. A little more tweaking, it should be good.